What is up, homies? Welcome back to another episode of the Heroes Reforged Podcast. You asked, we wanted it, so we made it happen. Dan Trachtenberg is back again to talk about Predator Badlands. We are going to talk about spoilers, but we're going to save that for the later part of the episode, so stick around if you just want to know our thoughts about the movie. We're going to talk to Dan, get a little bit of insight into the making of the film. We also went to the premiere last night. That was very, very fun.
It's awesome.
How are you surviving right now?
You were just in London.
I think we should have just got you one of these.
But honestly, being in like comfortable clothes and hanging out with fellow nerds is like a real warm blanket over the stress that was the whole week and last night in particular. So
without specifics, I do want to say that like the crowd last night was awesome.
It was.
And I wanted to ask you because I know that like last time we chatted for Killer of Killers, you and Stefan, you guys talk about how part of your job is like you will test screen the movie. You'll see it with audiences. You'll check to see if stuff is working or not working or whatever. But like you were just at the London premiere, you flew back, you're here in LA. You know, you're doing this tour part of it, and to see the final finished film with an audience like last night, does it feel validating for you guys? Because you've been working on this film for years. You're intending like, I think this is going to hit comedically, this is going to hit emotionally, this is going to be an awesome action bit. And there were cheer applaud moments and there were laughter, like just does it feel validating? Are you like, yes, that's what we wanted to happen and it did? Or are you still sometimes surprised by how the audience is reacting to your guys' movie?
I was surprised in a couple spots in a great way. Things that I always thought were funny, and this time had real audible reactions. And sometimes it's funny. A movie can have all the same moments, all the same beats,
right?
Because it's not finished. Usually without the final mix, but without it feeling like complete, it doesn't keep you in, and the exact same thing may not land the way it does until you're like at the premiere or some sort of final screening.
Wow.
And there were things that everyone has had a whole lot of different opinions about, and having a crowd react to was very validating.
Good.
And you can imagine a movie like this that takes so many risks. But also, the movie's been playing really well at even testing along the way. Like it's always been somewhat interactive. But certainly last night, you kind of have to take a festival screening and a premiere with a little bit of a grain of salt.
For sure. Are you going to do the test of like opening weekend, sneaking into the back of a screening, some theater somewhere, and kind of, seeing how regular audiences are going to respond to it?
If I hadn't seen the movie many times.
1001 sounds tiring.
I would. If there was a way to like know exactly per minute, like I just really like to go in for this section.
Sure.
For trailers, that's always a fun, because it's like, 2 minutes,
Yeah.
But I might lurk Burbank, my home theater, and just try to listen to people walking out of it.
Right.
So
you might see us there. You might see us.
Yeah,
all right,
for a fifth time. The one thing that I loved about the screening last night was when you went up on stage with Ben and Elle and Demetrius. You talked about the family aspect of the movie, but also making the movie. Like you're basically making this really high concept, high budget studio movie with your buddies.
Yeah.
Like you've known Ben and Stefan, who we love so much, for years now.
Yeah.
Do you feel any more or less pressure, or is it all kind of the same movie to movie? To just, I guess, deliver.
Because it's with my friends.
Yeah, with your friends. To not let anyone down or.
Yeah. You feel that way, not just with them, but with the crew.
Yeah.
Because the movie, they're putting their hearts into their specific craft.
Right.
Being a camera operator, and our awesome kick-ass camera operator who did the studio as well this year, was there last night, and it was great to have him see the finished movie. He's really enduring a lot of physical pain to capture awesome things, and he'll do that for a piece of crap too.
Sure.
He has no control over the actual final product, and our actors that are so vulnerable and doing insane things don't know if what they're doing is all for naught or whatever. So that kind of pressure. And then I think someone like Ben, who he's the start of producing.
Sure.
I mean, he's had a very interesting career, and he's sort of become this like the wolf from AVP, but also from Pulp Fiction. Even though it's the same thing. In TV and has done tremendous things, but like, he's now produced these 2 kick-ass movies, and if they were lame, that would kind of might be the end, because he's at the beginning of that, you know.
Sure.
And Demetrius at the beginning, and so it is that kind of pressure definitely exists. But people also said yes to this insane thing. So some of it's on them. You said yes,
of course,
to work on this crazy thing. But yeah, it was awesome to have them be so proud of what they did last night. Yeah.
Yeah. Connected but disconnected a little bit. Connected to the movie. There's a prequel comic book coming out.
Yeah.
Which I'm stoked about. It's coming out next week. I'm stoked about this. I love the tie-in media stuff.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite things about
Do you really?
Dude.
Oh, it's the
That's
best.
my thing.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Like, I'm the type of nerd that I'm like, I might like Star Wars comics more than Star Wars. Like,
Oh,
I
I
might
see.
like,
Right,
the expanded universe or the other. And funnily enough, I never went back and dove into the Dark Horse, like Predator comics.
Yeah.
And you've talked about how Badlands is, out of all the Predator films, maybe the most inspired by that kind of vibe.
Yeah, it might be more so from the comics than even the movies.
Totally.
That's what was so cool. Also, like as a kid, I thought I would be a comic book writer or artist.
Yeah.
That's sort of where I started out. And I just really could not draw. I took like lessons specifically from someone to teach us how to draw comics.
Yeah.
I wrote a foreword for the comic that mentions this guy Joe DiDomenico. And I think he drew like pages, not the full, but pages. That's my mom found him of Solar. It was, remember Valiant comics?
Oh, absolutely. 90s.
Yeah. So there was Solar.
It was like Solar, Man of the Atom.
Solar.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Solar.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. But it's funny you say that, because like I remember saying that too, Solar.
Yeah.
But isn't Solar spelled exactly the same?
I don't know, man.
How did we know it was called Solar?
Is this your soft launch that you're going to do the Solar
I'm
film?
rebooting
Is
Solar.
that- yeah, you're rebooting
I'll tell you, my jams in
Juicy exclusive.
era were it was Valiant. And what was the other awesome offshoot? And
I mean, Image Comics was in the 90s. Okay.
Image was the one of the first.
Yeah.
The first time I ever bought a comic from a comic book store, not like the pharmacy on a spinny rack, was What If the Punisher's Family Hadn't Been Killed? So it was a what if book. But it was a Punisher book that I think had the like my mom would look at the insignia that said if it was okay or whatever.
Yeah, the Comics
So I think
Code
that's
Authority.
Yeah, yes. My friend bought the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Damn.
My friend who was there last night at the premiere.
1984 Ninja Turtles?
Or was it maybe it was a compendium, but it was black and white.
Yep.
Yep.
And I bought this What If book, which was essentially the same thing as reading the Punisher's origins. Like the same thing happened.
Yes.
He didn't lose his family then, but he lost it like in another time. And,
Yeah.
but that really shaped my interest, less for like capes and cows and more for anti-heroes.
Yeah.
Which all feeds into Predator eventually. But
it does.
but I remember riding a bike to the comic book store and getting Spawn #1, like 2 copies of Spawn #1, because this Image Comics thing was going to be a big deal. And then I loved Shadowhawk. It was Spawn, Savage Dragon, and then Shadowhawk.
Damn.
Those were, I think, the first 3 Image comics.
I think you're right.
But there was another thing. There was another offshoot thing, and my friend loved Prime.
Oh yeah.
And I loved Firearm or something that was a very Punisher-like vigilante.
Okay.
Prime was so cool because it was like Shazam, where a kid turned into, but it was painful, and his body growing would like rip and tear.
It's a little grotesque.
And was it called something with an F? Not Ultra Force or like. I'm surprised.
Maybe.
I'm surprised you're really.
Yeah. Well, you're doing a bad job describing it.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I did mention 2.
No. Yeah.
His Rolodex only goes so
titles.
far.
But
Samsonite. Okay, that's what you're describing. Got it.
Anyway, why are we talking? Oh, the comics. But just to go full circle with like, now there's a comic dude coming out based off the movie. I is
you
really
wrote the foreword for the issue, for the comic. My question was like, were you sort of involved in, were you guys making sure that it all checked out with your film? Because it's a prequel, it takes place before.
There's so many like specific things. But Ethan Sachs, the writer, like kind of like he pitched several ideas.
Okay.
And I thought that we were going to have to really roll our hands up because it's so, even I was just still writing the screenplay as we were, it was really challenging.
That early? Wow.
No, we were in post, but we were still changing the script.
Okay, yeah.
That's movie making, folks.
The clay is always being shaped.
Put a pin in that because I actually we talked about it last night.
Yeah.
And I wanted to bring that up with you because something I want to circle back to, but yes, keep talking. Okay.
But he, in his pictures were like, this is great.
Yeah.
And then he like wrote an outline and, it was like, this is great. I was so relieved because we're constantly having to,
check your own stuff and then
hold hands with all of our collaborators and everything that we're doing. And
do you think you're going to do more comics?
That would be cool. I mean, that was a dream. Comics, video games, like that's the real, like part of me has felt like, am I just making movies so I could eventually make a game?
I mean, isn't Badlands crossing over with Call of Duty right now? Isn't that the
they are
game? That's so
that
cool.
was really cool to see.
That's so cool.
The character model and Call of Duty is pretty signature. So
can I give you another compliment about the movie that I was thinking about last night driving home? I was like, what I love about Badlands too is that, and I mean this like in the most sincere way possible. This is the utmost compliment from me.
Yeah.
Is that this movie, like while we were watching it and I told Adam afterwards, I was like, it's the kind of movie that gives me everything I want in a movie like this.
Yeah.
But part of that is also this movie is so toyetic. I want toys from this movie. I want action figures. I feel like a kid. I'm like, dude, I want a sick vehicle. I'm like, there's so much in this film.
Considering how many toys are in his garage, that says a lot.
Oh my gosh. I mean, and I saw like
toyetic.
the neck. I mean, that's a phrase that the industry uses that they invented.
Great, I love it.
They invented after Star Wars. They're like, Star Wars is a toyetic movie.
Yeah.
A movie that, and I remember also seeing people talk about it with James Wan's Aquaman when that came out in 2018. They're like, this is toyetic. The designs of the armor and it just gets your brain going of like, I want it as a thing, and I want to play with it.
There's definitely a feeling that I
very scientific.
a feeling that I long for.
Yeah,
like what happened in 1984 when people left Karate Kid.
Yeah,
and we're just like
doing karate in the parking lot.
Like where you just where you love something so much that it's still like pumping through your veins and you want to continue to live vicariously, which is what it was like growing up beyond Karate Kid and having, like other action figures so you could replay it. I had, by the way, the hat I'm wearing right now. Do you know what movie this is from?
No, what is it?
Listen, I've been wearing this hat for this entire year.
And
nobody has said, and the other day I was going into the grocery store to Ralph's, and there was like a mascot out front for Halloween. It was a Halloween guy and he was doing whatever. And he goes, yo, over the top.
Oh, sweet.
And I was like, trying to avoid the weird guy in the mascot outfit.
But then you went,
and I was just like, I immediately was like, you son of a first person. Dylan, you son of a bitch. So, no, but I had I loved Over the Top so much. I had action figures
for
that
Over
arm
the
wrestled.
Top?
They were action figures, and you had a thing for them, and you could twist something in their backs that made their arms so they would arm wrestle.
Incredible.
There's so many bits in this movie that I'm like, oh my God, this would make such a great little action feature on the figure, like a press a button and then the character does this.
Well, you're in luck because it's not like they haven't made Predator stuff in the past.
I know. I mean, look,
there's stuff coming. Yeah, NECA is coming.
That's I've seen it.
There's a sick. Have you seen the Iron Studios?
Yes.
Oh my God,
what is it?
It's awesome. It's just a statue of Deck and Thea and holding sword on the thing. And
incredible.
It's like really,
that's what I'm talking about.
Refined.
I love that.
I want that in the background of all my videos. Just like, hello, here it is.
It's so cool.
It's pretty dope. Did we finish the thought?
Oh, yeah. I think we did.
Your pin thought?
Oh, you love comics. You love tie-ins.
But yes. So, and we got through all that. But now to pin back to, so like a thing I noticed in the movie. I mean, I kind of want to get into spoilers. Is there anything else we want to talk about before we jump into that?
I think I had a thought, but I think it escaped my brain when we started talking about Toyetic.
Just to point out, we haven't actually talked about the movie.
Right.
And that's spoilery.
This is all leading up to it. This is all leading up to it. I mean, okay, without talking about Badlands, but like just the journey to here, to go from Prey to Killer of Killers and Badlands in the same year. Like, I love this trilogy so much. It's so great. And I know we've talked about this before, and I know I'm going to get shut down, but, and I'm so happy for you, and I can't wait to see what the next step is going to be. Can you give us a clue as to how maybe an announcement for the now mythical third idea may happen? Can you give us a clue? you're already laughing like,
under his breath.
Dude, there's no way. Meaning, like, you know, I know I've pestered you about this before, but like, would it be a Comic-Con announcement? Would it be a post? Would it be a
later inserted post-credit scene or something?
Or like you talked about with Prey, your sort of dream of like, I would have loved to have had a trailer come out, no Predator involved.
That's my continued dream.
It's your continued. So like for the third idea, are you just going to drop a trailer on us for something that would be cool? The new film from Dan Trachtenberg. What the heck is this? And then the trailer 2 is going to be like, oh shit, it's the third idea.
I will tell you, the way it's not going to be like an awesome, crazy, sick drop like next week.
I know.
No. So what I mean to say is like, there's still a lot of time.
Yes. Okay.
For us to get to the point where we would then be announcing what it is.
Okay, great.
But we share a heart in liking the way something is announced.
Yes.
I really miss old school teaser trailers that were like 50 seconds. Yeah. And you're like, what is this? And at the end, it's a bat logo. You're like, what?
I know.
Listen, man.
Remember Fifth Element was like just a 5 like floating through space, like the HBO logo.
Yeah. And your Cloverfield film is amazing. And going back to even the predecessor, the first Cloverfield, that trailer drop was like, was like viral marketing.
I am on record when I was doing what you guys were doing, saying, I think it's like just like this. I think it's a Voltron movie.
Oh my God.
I was one of those guys because everyone thought that he was saying it's a lion.
I remember that. You're like, I think it's Voltron.
And it was attached to Transformers. So
that's true. And then the second thing you said was, I'm going to direct a sequel to that. I will direct, put it on record. I will put the next film in that anthology series. That's going to be me. Yeah, that's great.
The movie is also coming out in many formats. We talked about before. What would you say was the most challenging trying to make all those formats work for your movie?
What an interesting question. The reality is, what's so great at having those all the different formats is we actually get to keep working. Like if we missed something, like in the mix is my favorite part of the whole filmmaking process.
Yeah, it's when it comes together.
And it's when it really comes together and really makes the movie a movie. And we were on a very tight schedule. And so there were things that we didn't quite get to but IMAX, we had a little bit more time. And so the IMAX, I was able to squeeze a few more things. Although actually, I think then after we did that, we had really nice people that were like, we can patch it into the DCP of the Dolby Vision.
Just send them a new drive.
So and home video even too. That there's still more time to do different things.
When we worked on visual effects, we would get stuff that was like, oh, this is for home video only, but we need to mix them up.
Yeah, there's basically a whole week. You finish the movie, the DCP's done, you QC it, and then we go. But the VFX crew are still in the same office, and we go in, and we're like, I'm still at work. I'm still doing final official touches. It's nothing that anyone would even notice. Sure. It's things that just
most minor tweak
people
audio
like
mixes and different
audio
things.
Mixes and some VFX that we can just have some extra polish on or do something a little bit differently. But I'm sure no
visual
one
effects look amazing. It looks great.
Well, I got to see the first 20 minutes at Comic-Con, and then he went to the lot and saw those 20 minutes.
Right.
And even then you were like, it's still not done. And I was like, whoa.
Looking good, man.
I mean, it looks great, but you're getting real close to because, we just understand the pipeline because we did it. Yeah. And then I watched last night and I was like, this looks awesome. Yeah. This absolutely kicks ass.
It sounded great in IMAX and just,
The dialogue.
That was my circle back.
God damn it. That dialogue was so easy to understand, and I
Yes.
appreciate that detail so much
Yes.
in movies.
Thank you. It was tricky too, because that theater, IMAX is the best format to watch this in. The TCL Chinese theater is a huge
enormous.
screen.
Very loud.
Our sound team went in that morning to QC and make sure that and just
Perfect
to make sure that because it's a challenging movie because everyone, not only are people speaking in different languages, so you need to hear things a little bit more distinctly than you would when it's your own language, but also all the noises. There's a lot of futzed vocalizations, you know. There's a lot of growling and of course the Yautja do not sound like a human speaker, and there's robots that don't always sound the most human either. And so I'm glad that you guys felt like it worked that way. And
Was there ever any consideration just doing the whole movie in Yautja? Because at one point, well, I won't say specifically, but it feels like you could go in that direction and then you switch it to Yautja in English. Because I would have read subtitles through that whole movie.
Dude, is there going to be an all Yautja track? Like
the Comanche dub.
Yeah.
Maybe we should.
Isn't it good that you come on this podcast?
A Comanche, a Yautja language. So it'd just be dubbed though.
It would be dubbed.
Yeah.
That's fine.
But that's fine. That's something fun.
Dub's cool. We ran into the amazing, talented gentleman who designed the language.
Yeah.
Who is it?
Britton Watkins.
Britton Watkins, yeah.
As we were leaving the event last night, Britton sees us and goes, "Hey, I know you guys. I like your stuff. I know your thing."
Oh,
and we were
awesome.
like, and he goes, "Hey, I designed the language." And we were like, we
questions.
We want to have him on the show. We want to have him on the podcast. But I leaned in and I was like, okay, you do realize now that
yes. Oh my God.
The same way that nerds have been exchanging their vows.
Are you guys Star Trek guys?
Yes.
Yeah, he's a Star Trek.
He knows. So I told him, I said, you know that nerds have been doing their vows in Klingon for decades. You know now that nerds are going to be be that with Yautja. He did
some Klingon stuff for Into Darkness.
Oh, very
cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
When Zoe Saldana speaking Klingon to the Klingons, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That is so great. We worked on that. We worked on the movie.
Yeah. Oh.
We did.
So you worked with Britton?
Yeah, we did. We totally, no, not at all. But he took that compliment. He was like, I would be so lucky. That'd be amazing.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
So just, Adam, give us any final thoughts, because I want to dive into my pinned thing that I wanted to circle back to and then get into the spoilers.
Great. Go for it.
Okay, wonderful.
Let's get it off your chest, buddy.
Okay, first thing is I noticed in the film last night a line of dialogue was different from the trailer, the Yautja line. That in the trailer we had Dex say, "I am prey to none."
Yeah.
In the trailer, but he said a different line in the film.
Yeah.
And as we experienced that, my thought was, oh, that was just for the trailer. He had never, and the intention was never to say that. So then I started thinking, did you guys ever change any of even though the Yautja language was designed and you guys had an amazing actor who performed this on set and was speaking this, did you ever change anything in post and go, actually, let's change what Deck is saying in this moment?
Yeah.
And then I think I asked Ben that, and Ben goes, we did, and we would redub it, and so it was legit, and we would even maybe reanimate it depending on what the line was.
Yeah, you guys,
that's crazy,
with your unique backgrounds can really appreciate this. We're having worked in visual effects and stuff that it would have been, this is like Ben's been around Star Wars franchise. And you know, when people are wearing masks, like that means you can just rewrite that dialogue over and over and over again. And for us, as we were shaping the movie before it's being released, we were constantly like, oh, we can just change right now to get a better read. Let's try it with this line. Let's see, what if we change this here? Then maybe that'll feel stronger or whatever.
And Britton would be like, I haven't invented that yet. Hang on a minute, damn it.
So we would constantly test the movie, change this and show this, and friends, family, whatever. And even just for ourselves, we were rewriting the movie over and over and over again to make it the best it could possibly be. And it would have been much easier to say, well, it's a made up language.
Just change the subtitles.
What? Just change. We're just changing the subtitles, and who knows? We don't know what that word means anyway. But Britton put a lot of hard work into it and made it all make sense. And thank you to the studio for embracing the extra work and finances that it took. It's crazy. It's not even like we're honoring like like the Comanche, like an actual people, a real culture, and there's
Yautja barely talked to the other movies.
Actual nobility in it, other than it felt like the right instinct. And we went back and we reanimated some faces or held off really long. It's why it's rough here, and held off really long before we would attack certain scenes that we knew we were still manipulating.
Yeah. But I love that. And honestly, like you're saying, there's no nobility in it, but there is though. In the same way that like Britain worked on Klingon stuff in the past, but even like a fictional, Tolkien with Elvish, like these languages that were created or invented by really creative people.
Like Arabesh in Star Wars. It's like, it has its own alphabet, like everything.
And that comes from like passion and people like you guys and creatives like giving a shit. And, so it matters. It's crazy.
There's artistic nobility.
Yeah.
There just isn't.
Real world.
Yeah.
But man, you guys went through all the trouble. Dub that sucker in Yautja. Dub the whole thing. Go back and do Prey in Yautja. Go back and do Killers in Yautja.
Now we're talking.
Go get a
Predator 87.
We're giving you a reason to just repress all those Blu-rays for people like us.
Demetrius, can he do an Arnold impression? Can we have him redub even Dutch lines?
I don't know that I've heard Demetrius. But boy, would I love to hear Arnold.
Be awesome.
Speaking Yautja.
That's the gift you get because of you guys designing the whole language. You can map it over,
Right.
The thing that I love about the animation was just, at certain points, I could not tell. I kept asking myself, is this an animatronic? Like a puppeteering thing? Or is this CG? Like it's very, very
I love that you felt that way. That's the highest compliment.
Yeah.
A huge part of that was the decision to have him still in a full body suit. So your eyes, the majority of what you're seeing is still physical. And then the VFX are matching the suit texture. If we don't do that, when we hadn't done that in Prey, when we had some CG faces, and when you think of the other in Predator, whatever, you're making alien flesh
really hard
to look like flesh.
Right.
And even if it's great, it's a different aesthetic than the suit.
Yeah.
Yes.
It reflects differently.
It's all different. So just the idea of matching the visual effects component of the face to the built prosthetic suit, I think is what helps make the movie magic.
I remember I saw that for the first time with the movie Where the Wild Things Are.
Oh yeah,
which I think is a kind of a crazy underrated
we
movie.
Talked about that. Yeah.
They're big practical suits, but then using CG.
That's right.
That's my dream live action Ninja Turtles, by the way. Like I want dudes in suits, but with you're shaking your head. You're like, well, I've considered it. I've considered it. All right,
that's cool too.
That would be great. Just throwing.
How many more jobs do you want?
Okay, I want to get into some spoilers for this film because talking about your Predator trilogy, I love each of these movies so much. I mean, we ran into Dakota last night and got to tell him how much we love Prey and his performance in Prey. And to see him have a little exchange with you where he was like,
oh, so great.
Bring it home.
Yeah.
It was like, dude,
so
that was awesome to see him excited about that, call back to Prey But with these three movies,
if you catch us like through the side of your eye, we are like two ridiculous kids. We're like, oh my God, look at these two interacting. It's a little insane sometimes.
I was so great to see him. I hadn't seen him since all the Prey stuff. So.
And we were chatting with him and I was like, what's it like for you, to see and watch this new movie? I'm like, but you're a part of the franchise. Like, do you feel proud? Like you guys kind of kicked this whole thing off and it was awesome. It was really, really cool. But looking at these three movies and I love animation and Killer of Killers so much. That movie was amazing. I think between the three of these, I think Badlands like spoke to my heart the most. And I think it might end up being my personal fave of these three. And part of it is every great Predator film, every Predator movie is really about something more than just what you're seeing on screen, obviously, right? We talked about this. And I think this movie is about masculinity. And it's about how, and I don't want to say toxic masculinity, because as soon as you say that phrase, a bunch of dumbass dudes will check out. They're like, oh, I don't want to hear that. And I'm like, that's ironic. You should be hearing this the most. This is about you. But this film like takes a character who you root for immensely. And he's in this way of life that is so set. And it's about like the strongest is the one who kills the most.
Culture.
And a lot of people and a lot of dudes feel that way. And I happen to be of the belief, and I think because I'm a dumb little sensitive guy raised on comic books, the most heroic, the most alpha to me is the one who protects the most. So for the movie to go into that and to have this protagonist, to have this protagonist experience that, and then to connect it to the alpha wolf, and that's what a wolf does. I told you last night, I was getting chills, man. When these characters are confronting this, and he's kind of learning about this and learning a new way to be, and when he says some lines at the end, you're just like, it's rooting for it so much. So my question about all of this was this something that you guys sort of like realized this could be the theme of the film as you were developing it after you had the initial idea, or from the beginning with the idea being, I want to do a story where a predator, Yautja, is the protagonist? Did you know, well, the only way that's going to work as a story is if this character in a way challenges the Yautja like way of life, like, you know, because it is tough to have a male central character that's like the hero. I mean, you talk about your love of anti-heroes. It's tough to have a character that's like, I'm the hero because I killed the most. Even Punisher, what is the ultimate anti-hero, that he challenges that all the time. It's not about that. And he's such a damaged guy and everything. So again, the question is, did you know from the beginning, this is really what it's going to be? Or did you discover it and go, now we got a movie?
So many answers to that question as you were going, like, oh yeah,
sorry.
No.
Cut me off next time. I rambled and I'm sorry.
Because it's but I think every Predator movie, or certainly the original and the stuff that we've been doing, but really its roots right back there in 1987 is an examination of what true strength really is. So in many ways, we aren't bucking the trend with this movie. And the goal wasn't to tell the story of a Yautja defying Yautja culture. That wasn't what was first in mind. It sort of, everything came organically from this movie is sometimes described as, it's like a Predator movie, but from the Predator's POV. But that's exactly what I didn't want to do. I didn't want to make a classic Predator movie, but you're just seeing it from the killer's eyes and seeing from the other perspective.
The killer kills all the teenagers, and that's the movie. Right.
No, we wanted to take the Predator and put him on the same kind of journey that you typically see the human go through. So, and the fun of having it not be a Luke Skywalker kind of guy, or even a Han Solo kind of guy, it being someone like the Predator who is ferocious. And I kind of link to Conan or Mad Max, or
speaking our language,
or you know, a lone gunman like The Man with No Name, a Clint Eastwood, who are all anti-heroes.
Primal, we talked about Primal last time.
I know, and I was saying it even inspired Badlands. A lot of in the physicality.
We talked to Gendy about you, actually.
I watched. I was like, does he know? Does he see? You know, like I was trying to get a lot out of the interaction.
But yeah, but the whole idea of like these typically masculine characters, like having to unlearn some things, and seeing the world in a different, like I eat that stuff up, dude.
And it's so great. It really comes from wanting to make something that can be both things. You can have an awesome kick-ass time. It's T2.
Yes.
T2.
Oh my God.
Right? The T800.
Kick-ass thrill ride.
I know now
some
why you
of the best action that you've ever seen. That's incredibly violent and all of that.
But emotional.
But deeply emotional. The most badass line potentially of cinema history.
Yes.
Certainly of our childhoods.
Yes.
Hasta la vista, baby. Comes from a little teenage boy teaching a robot how to be cool. From a very warm, place of warmth. So all things can be true. Mad Max, it's him and his dog. That's where the idea of a bud comes in our movie, and him and Thea.
Love Bud
so good,
so great.
So that's really it, and just wanting to be thematically oriented. And Prey was the same thing. Prey, just from the other angle of someone who really wanted to be great at hunting and was in the beginning kind of pushing away the stuff that her mother was teaching her. And in the end, the thing that gets her there isn't just being a badass hunter, though she does become that, but it's embracing what mom was giving her too.
Yeah.
So the fact of the matter is, in my view, and you know, like both, it's not like boo, no, it's you got to be sensitive, and boo, you got to, you know, it's like all of it matters, all of it is valid.
Exactly what you're saying is like you get to the parts of the movie that are just moving me and giving me chills, and I'm like, and again, another one of my favorite films of all time, How to Train Your Dragon, the animated movie from 2008, to see Deck interact with the creatures of this world. And it's emotional and like just like all of that's happening. And I'm like, oh, this is so sick.
It's like a warm blanket.
And then after that, pretty soon after that, dude goes home and kicks the absolute shit out of his dad. And I'm like, let's go. Like, it's both. You're absolutely right. It's like he's got the biggest heart. Yeah. You know, the Grinch grew 3 sizes that day. And then he goes home and just like beats ass, dude. And it's like the sickest action ever. And it's great.
Awesome.
But you got to be able to root for the Terminator growing a heart.
Yeah.
So that when he's kicking the T-1000's ass, it matters more. You gotta root for these kinds of characters to go through this, because otherwise it's kind of empty and everything. So
I think that was my favorite thing about the movie was because I know sometimes, you know, when you talk about other people about what their expectations are, you can tell that under all of the expectations, they kind of just want the same thing over again.
Yes.
You know, and I think the thing that I appreciate so much about Prey, Killer of Killers, and this movie is that it's giving us a little bit of something different, but it still feels like it's in the family of Predator.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that is a kind of a tricky balancing act sometimes to figure out, have we gone too far, or is this on the path that it should be on?
Like everyone's saying big swing, and it is. But like you guys were saying earlier, like it still fits in the Predator world. Yeah. And it's really going back to 87 Predator. Like it's still using those same themes and everything. So yeah, talk about that balance.
I also say big swing, but truly, and how I pitched the studio and honestly feel is that the bigger swing, the riskier endeavor is to make just another Predator movie again.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You think that's gonna get butts and seats? They've seen that movie.
Yes.
They've got a bunch of versions of that movie. I just made like 5 of them, if you, because Killer Killers is like 4 in 1.
Right.
So that's risky. That's a big swing. You're gonna gamble on that.
Yeah.
I think it's less of a gamble to make something that is a kind of movie that we haven't gone to the theaters to see. Period. So, but yeah, it is a dance the whole time between a being new and also classic. And I think I don't know that I've used that term that often, but now that I say it out loud, it's like maybe that's the thing that's helpful. Is thinking of what is classic. Classic meaning like timeless in some ways, right? Like so there are elements that are palpable and strong inside the franchise that are also resonant to people who have never seen Deck becoming Dutch and like using the planet and making the squirt a part of his going. Him being resourceful is resonant to any moviegoer. If you're a Predator fan, and you watch the movie and you see he's got that thing on his shoulders, hopefully the movie instructs you too. Yeah. But more so if you're a Predator fan and you love the iconography, all the weapon, you were bummed in the beginning when he lost all the weapons, like, and now he's using the fucking squirt as a thing. Like,
so good.
Like, then that's like, oh, that's awesome. And there's something that's resonant and classic about the parent corporation and mother, whatever. But the fact that it's mother and you're an Alien fan and the power and him dealing with this overwhelming piece of technology that is ginormous is a big deal. If you're a fan of the Aliens franchise, you're seeing a new version of a power loader that you hadn't seen. So it's trying to think about the classical elements of all the franchises stuff. And also, none of it was like a list of things from either franchise and then like us trying to figure out how do we put them in the movie. All of it was the movie needs something here. Like the idea of having with the robot was the initial idea. And then it was I know a company that makes
Yeah.
you know, like it can be within-Yutani, and then I need this to happen now. And what could it? Oh man, yeah, she can be. There could be multiples of her, and she can be talking to Mother, and that's cool. And and then once again, power loader. So yeah, all of it came from the like narrative vortex sucking it in, as opposed to
you guys trying to cram it in there.
Exactly.
Well, that's the thing I told Hector when the movie ended was like, I really appreciated how much you used, and it never felt like it was forced in.
Yes.
And I also love that it didn't try to force in things that it didn't need. Because I think sometimes that's a thing that, not always, but can turn me off a little bit when it's like, did you put this in there because it really earns it, or just because someone said you need to do it? And that's what I love so much about the movie, because it leaves the possibilities open for more, but you also have this huge satisfactory feeling when it ends that you didn't miss anything necessarily. And it's a great entry point, I feel like, too, for new viewers.
All three of them are. Prey is an
all three of
amazing entry point. Killer of Killers. And I was going to mention, too, I wanted to bring this up, and she'll probably be very excited. My mom loves Prey. It's one of her favorite movies that came out in 2022. It was one of her favorite films. Again, it's like my mom is not, I think, the typical projected audience for a Predator film. Yeah. But the way you guys made that and the way you guys have been making every one of these, like, have you had a really exciting or surprising like response from maybe an audience member that you didn't expect, that you go, hey, this is what we set out to do with Prey, or this is what we're setting out to do with Badlands. I didn't expect this type of person to come up to me and go, I loved it. This was great.
I mean, certainly just women in general.
Yeah.
That maybe Predator just never quite reached as much. Of course, there's so many female fans of the franchise, but to the degree, it's never quite reached. And I'm definitely Badlands in particular, hearing a lot from women that are loving it, embracing it, and constantly saying like, I did not think I was going to like this kind of movie. And that's definitely very rewarding. Yeah. I want to know what your mom thinks of Badlands.
Oh, I know. I can't wait. I can't wait to take her. I can't wait. I'm going to take her 4DX. I'm absolutely going to rock her spine.
Not this one next time, please.
She did not like the Incredicoaster, so she's not going to like this. It's going to be real. She thought she was going to die on that Incredibles roller coaster.
Oh God!
I'll let you know.
Last night we saw Stefan there, and he brought his whole family.
Yeah,
and kind of rare form for Predator to be accessible to a wider audience.
Yeah.
Was that something that you guys were thinking about from the beginning? Because Prey is obviously like a very R-rated, mature film.
Killer of Killers.
Killer of Killers, and
this
this
not be more R-rated.
Yeah. and this one is definitely more accessible. But I watched the movie, and at no point was I like, well, like we could have done a little bit more. I was like, no, this had the action, this has the violence, this has everything that you would hope for from a Predator movie.
Alien blood, and it's just synth blood. So I'm sure the ratings board was like, oh, this could be PG-13. This is great.
But was that something that you realized early on? Or was that something that was done with a little bit more intention to just try to expand the fan base a little bit more?
It was both. It was early on, as it was all like forming as an idea. But it wasn't it was like this awesome, like, oh my God.
Yeah. You wrote it and you're like, oh, wait a minute.
It probably, of course.
Yeah.
Because it's just, creature. And I'm pretty sure I had never really interacted heavily with the NBA, but like, I'm pretty sure that what we're doing could make us in there. That's awesome. And it allows, I remember being so frustrated. And that's probably the reaction that I love reading, is because people have a certain expectation for PG-13.
Sure.
And people saying it's actually really gory. The word gore being associated with PG-13 is very rewarding to read.
You sicko.
But also, I was so, because my parents really waited a very long time before allowing me to see R-rated movies. And I remember being like mad at Hollywood. I was like, can you make more movies that I want to see them? Or whatever you did, I don't know what's in there, but whatever you did, can you do like a little less so that my parents will let me watch you?
Or at least like in the 80s, it was a real deal. But like, can you stop making toys from the rated R movies?
Yes, I know.
What are we doing?
Thank you for the Rambo toy. I'd like to see this movie.
I'll never see
the Saturday morning cartoon is all right.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But which is insane that they made a Saturday morning cartoon out of Rambo. And,
Gosh. Insane.
But yeah, so there certainly was, I have a delight that that there's a whole age group that has only been able to watch Marvel movies and Star Wars movies.
Right.
That is sci-fi to them. That is action. to this degree, you know, to them. And now they get to see, hopefully, have their minds blown at what else you can watch in a movie, you know?
I always think of The Dark Knight. I mean, that movie was PG-13, and it's pretty mature.
I mean, even Superman this year had a really aggressive moment.
I had parents ask me about that because we had seen Superman, I think, a little early, and they were like, can I take my 5-year-old? And I was like, yes, but there's one moment that's a little far away, but it's kind of gnarly.
It's specifically gnarly.
And I explained it to them, and I was like, so it's your call. But like, you know, that's crazy.
I think ever since Dark Knight, and even the Pirates movies are really spooky, and the third one in particular opens up. You know, like as much fun. I mean, it was quite fun making Killer of Killers. But even, I mean, we have very expressive, insane, chest bursting. You know, like, I think, I don't know that there's anything you can't really do.
Sure.
With PG-13, we're very different than where we were some time ago. So there was no part of me that was like, oh, I shouldn't do, that's too violent. I know the same kind of choices were being made in making this that were
literally just the color of blood. That's all it is. It's you know, it's Samurai Jack beating up a bunch of robots and all the oil comes out. I'm like, that's great. That's great. You can put this on broadcast television. TV Y7. It's no problem. It's fine.
TV Y7.
I very aggressively slammed Hector's leg.
Oh God.
When the part came up. What if he throws it?
Yeah.
And that was
I said this to you guys on the podcast?
No,
in person.
At the 20-minute on the lot, you and Ben were talking about solving this action problem.
Yeah.
And all you said vaguely was, the solution was Ben going, what if he throws it?
Yeah.
And so I got to take that little nugget to Adam and Augustine, and it's like, okay, when the movie comes out, we have to look out for that. And when it happened, Adam broke my knee, just grabbed my leg, like, it's happening. And it was so sick. It was so good.
Yeah, that awesome. So that was having this idea of splitting the bone bison in two, and I'll tell you Stefan's idea for it too. Yes, is great. But it was just going to be him holding steady and holding the sword and
as
having
the
it
thing
goes by him.
Yeah,
and my VFX producer Kathy actually brought up, like, it'd be so cool, because I think she was actually thinking more economically, because then like he split it and then he'd have to like have another shot of him going over to it and then ripping out the spine. And she was like, what if like just as it's going by, he grabs it? And I was like,
hell yeah.
I was like, yeah, but how? Because if it's going, he's holding
it. How does he like
going by him? And then that was the end of that. And the next day,
Ben said,
we're in review and going over, and Ben walks in and he goes, why can't he just grab the thing and do the thing? I'm like, I know, we all think that's really cool, but I don't know how to make it happen. And then like a moment of silence, and he goes, what if he throws the sword? And it was like, and I was like, no, he's not. Actually, I was like, nah.
Wait a minute.
And your brain
kind of like when you guys were like, yeah, the Yautja thing. And I was like, what if he throws it?
Yeah.
And then it birthed this like incredible. Now after, I will say Stefan had a great idea that I think what we did is better for the movie. But Stefan's pitch was, what if he just gave the sword to Thea on his back and then turned? And Thea was just like, what am I doing? And then, and
that would just like,
very fun.
Very cool.
We love Stefan's many awesome ideas.
But that idea, not as great as what's in the movie. Sorry, Stefan, not as great.
No, it would have been awesome. We still talk about it. Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, I think to kind of wrap up here, I know Adam wanted to talk about if we can get kind of nerdy.
Yeah.
We were chatting with our buddy Brandon last night, and he was, he's talked with you, and he's got a spoiler thing that's coming out as well after the film, but was mentioning that like you got to see Alien Romulus a little early.
Yeah.
And that, as you were watching Fede's film, you got to see like, oh, the eyes of the synths. I got to put that in mind.
Yes.
And I think Adam wanted to ask a little bit about the alien side of everything and kind of, see where you're at and see if they're, Adam, just take it away. Just go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, the thing that I was piecing together, you also, when before the movie started and you were doing your chat, you mentioned that you had shown it to James Cameron.
Yes.
Which, like, that's really fucking cool.
Yeah.
It's beyond. It's more than fucking cool. It's like,
it's everything.
Yeah, it's everything.
It's great.
But, obviously he directed Aliens, and Fede was there last night, and I nudged him. I was like, hey, man, Alien Romulus was really great. But, the thing that we also always talk about is like, what are the conversations like when you have these multiple properties that have obviously mixed and matched in previously, and now you're incorporating things into your movies. How much is there like conversations happening simultaneously? Also, while there's like an Alien Earth show happening, like how does all that inner working stuff work?
It's not as exciting as an answer as you probably would hope for. When we were first writing Badlands, I actually wasn't. I think I maybe knew. I wasn't totally aware of what was happening with Fede and Romulus.
Okay.
And then I vaguely knew some things, but I really can't recall when I found out about Alien Earth, but I very particularly chose to set Badlands as far in the future as possible.
Yeah, because we know you and timelines are like, I don't want to mess with
that. But I want to make sure that I'm not stepping on anyone's toes inside our own franchise, but also
runway
with whatever's going on with Alien. And then Fede had me and some other like a little filmmaker screening, and showed us one of his earliest cuts of Romulus. And the eye gag was just awesome, and the movie is awesome.
Yeah. The ending for that movie is so weird and so great.
The ending wasn't exactly when I finally saw the movie. I was like, why didn't I not say how awesome? Like, I mean, I would give you plenty of compliments, but like, then he was like, that we changed the ending after you saw it. I was like, okay, like I didn't remember.
Yeah.
It still had the thing. It didn't have her going down the chain and like the whole like
crazy.
The meteorites. Like that was
nuts.
Was awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway, I digress. But so I'd seen an early cut of that. And then Noah Hawley reached out when he saw our trailer and was like, "You're doing Weyland-Yutani stuff. Like, we should be talking." And he sent over some cuts of Alien Earth at that time. It was only probably a couple months before it actually came out.
Cool.
But so I got to see what he was doing. We're not really stepping on each other. I do think it would be great to bring things together and
we also think that.
I think all that would be dope.
Yeah. We had a blast watching Alien Earth. We really
I'm only on episode 4 now. I saw 2 then when he sent me. I've now watched the aired 4, and everyone says that 5 is like incredible.
Yes. Yes. I mean, it's just the really exciting stuff, whether it's Fede's film or Alien Earth, is that it feels like, and I even felt the same with Planet of the Apes in this sort of post, you guys being 20th Century Studios properties, and now this post sort of merger world, that like there are folks like you guys that are there and they deeply care about these stories and previous movies and franchises and everything, but also are trying new shit. And Romulus was I felt like a great combination of the familiar, but also we're going to throw in some Prometheus weirdness in there, which Prometheus, not my favorite, admittedly, but I respect the hell out of that movie. That movie has the cojones. It's wild. So it all, and then so to see Alien Earth, and it's these a great other like big ideas and really interesting. It's so great as I've gotten older. You see these movies when you're little, when you're younger. Maybe not Dan, because your parents are like, no, rated R. But I saw Terminator 2 when I was like 10 or 11 or 12. These things that just they just like imprint, and you saw it way younger. I know you saw Halloween at age 5 or something stupid. That's crazy. That's crazy. Just really,
you must have been out of your mind, terrified. Like, was it even fun? Were you not just like,
I would always like AMC Fright Fest. Here we go. Halloween's on.
I'm sure you've seen those videos of like toddlers that are obsessed with Michael Myers. Like they put a little mask on. And anyway, but the point is that like these get into our lives when we're young.
He's never going to come on this podcast again.
And I know. And
what are you guys talking about?
we don't quite like obviously understand every part of it.
Yeah.
But they're still like, awesome. Oh, Terminator 2, I love it. And then I get older.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's about fatherhood. It's about, it's just like, it hits you so hard. So I'm loving that these franchises are still that, but they're still so entertaining, but still, taking these big swings and everything. So the other thing we were hearing fans talk about last night.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Not to put any pressure on you. There's none.
Yeah.
Story is always key. Story is key.
Yeah.
But loving that both of these sort of parallel directions right now with Alien and Predator is that the people in charge are building up these stories. And if there ever will be a crossover, another event film, another whatever, that like the key right now is like focusing on what is before trying to force it together, before putting that cart before the horse. So
Avengers was not the first MCU movie.
Exactly.
It only happened because, and really it didn't happen after the Raimi Spider-Man. It happened after someone took a bold swing and made a movie about one of the least known. And made it awesome,
the C-list,
and different, and very different from other superhero movies at that time. And then took another kind of obscure character that we knew more from Adventures in Babysitting than we.
Thor, that's right. Vincent D'Onofrio and Adventures in Babysitting. Yes, you're right. And then took a character that was like, well, this is just propaganda. How are you going to sell this internationally? The first Avenger, like. I talk about this all the time.
And then we got
the big show.
So So I think just from speaking as fans, we're very happy about that. Are you taking a vacation after this? Are you going to take a little break?
Well, look, Thanksgiving's coming up, so
Beautiful.
I get to take that on board. I'm going right after here. I go to Philly, my hometown, to do some more press for the movie and screen it. Where I grew up and all that. Which I love
that your parents were there last night. That's so cool.
It was awesome. By the way, speaking of parents liking it. And how I think I've even said, like I think about like my mom, like T2 was a movie that I would show my mom, and I don't know if they liked the movie.
What?
Yeah.
Your parents?
And they like my
did feel a little offended because of the really messed up dynamics. You warned everybody.
I warned everybody.
You warned the screening. You're like, my parents are here.
My mom was like psychoanalyzing everything, and she was like, I have two sisters in real life. And she's like, there's two sisters. Like, is that because? I was like, no, mom. It's just meant to represent like how they're trying to defy their programming.
Interesting how you depicted two sisters.
You should have had your mom on this podcast.
And my brother, and I just, where did it come from? Was it the He-Man action figures? Like she kept saying, I really saw a lot of the He-Man action figures in that, and Castle Grayskull. And I was like, well, I get He-Man comes a little bit from Conan, and maybe yes, but also that's just like
and your dad's like,
couldn't get over her own.
Your dad's like the father, huh? The father. Interesting.
You son of a bitch.
With the father. No, I'm sure that they loved it. I'm sure that it's.
They were proud. They were proud of what it was for sure.
It's such a crowd pleasing movie. It's so great.
Thank you.
Yeah. So. I mean, I think that's all I got. Adam, if you got anything else.
What can we expect for the Blu-ray, Dan?
Yeah.
We are actually, you guys, I'm so glad you asked. No, there's going to be a bunch of behind the scenes stuff that on this movie is particularly cool, as we had, stuff with Alec Gillis and Weta Workshop and so all the crazy physical stuff we did, an awesome stunt team. And speaking of that, the commentary that I haven't recorded yet, but I'm about to, as I pleaded to like, can we just wait till after the movie comes out, because that way I can like speak candidly about, I'm not like, I don't know if people are going to like this, so I don't want to like,
You've experienced people experiencing it, so you can speak on.
Now I feel confident in what the movie is, but, the commentary is going to be me and Ben Rosenblatt, and my DP, Jeff Cutter.
Awesome.
Oh, and the cinematography also, we got to point out. So
awesome.
Awesome. Loved it.
A lot of that's just New Zealand, but it's Jeff.
It looks gorgeous.
Jeff did a great job.
Like the opening sequence, I was like, this is some epic landscape shots. Beautiful stuff.
Awesome. Thank you. And then Jacob Tamori, our stunt coordinator, is going to be on the commentary with us, just because the movie is so action packed and he brought so much to it. So it'll be commentary, and then there'll be a poop ton of deleted scenes. A lot. We did a little bit of this on Prey, and we're gonna do it here again. Putting a lot of the previs in the movie, and there's a whole sequence of where the leg fight originated. It was originally some other spot in the movie.
So good, dude. So fun.
It's one of my favorite parts of the movie.
We were going like this. We're like, oh my god, this is so fun.
The twist.
It's
so great.
By the way, that I keep on forgetting of this anecdote in all these interviews, but that I'm glad you said the leg twist. That was one of the most complicated things to figure out, and it kind of almost doesn't work. But everyone assumed like she'll just hold her head. Like when you really think about how you have to hold your feet in a way to create that, it actually gets really hard. And everyone like, I think it's this. And the stunt coordinator was like, I think she has to hold, maybe she has to be facing the other way. Our AD was like, guys, we have to shoot. I know, but it's got to be right. Like it was
and
really
then,
like
and then producer,
it took way too long.
And then producer Ben was like, "What if she twists it?
Why did she just throws it?
Yeah, just twist her ankles."
But yeah, it's a fun moment.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. And then there's the deleted scene where he fights a xenomorph. That's gonna be great. That's cool. Very cool. Guys, cut it out of the.
Oh my god,
dude! Punk rock is not having the xenomorph in the movie.
Absolutely,
that's punk rock.
Absolutely, it's not kindness, Superman. It's not. It's not just succumbing to the temptation of having a xenomorph in the movie.
That's right.
But wasn't there a xenomorph skull on the ship? Wasn't there?
There's definitely a lot of cool skulls.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
That's all we need. That's all.
I won't get into ID4. Yeah. Anyways, we're seeing it again tonight in 4DX 3D, and I cannot wait to get thrown out of my seat.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
I'm not even ordering a drink because I know it will spill. It will spill all over my pants.
It will, guys. I've done it. It will spill. I mean, you literally have to kind of like engage your core.
Like those seats need belts.
Yeah.
They're insane.
I kind of agree.
But thank you so much for being so kind to us and coming on our show and talking to us about your movies. It's really a pleasure to have you on.
I love hanging, guys. I love it.
Thank you guys so much.
Get your ass off your couch and go see Predator Badlands. It's in theaters now. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
Heroes Reforged is gonna react. Heroes Reforged is gonna review. Heroes Reforged is gonna discuss. That's why we are watching